Hi, this is Ronnie, and welcome to the Saturday Stash Dive. See those brads and eyelets right there from We Are Memory Keepers? I'm going to be using them today because we're featuring today metal objects and in our layout. And I had a hard time finding something that wasn't brads or paper clips, and these have been in my stash forever. And I bet I've had them, 5 years. And they're they're themed for like hiking, camping, road trip, vacation. They have different words on there like that, and so I thought this would be a great picture to use. Of course, I'm in the back, and that's my view of my family in front of me. And we're doing a nature walk in the Smoky Mountains. So that's where the title comes from, Smoky Mountain High. Instead of Rocky Mountain High, it's Smoky Mountain High. And the paper I'm using is close to my heart, and it's really old, close to my heart. I do not even know how long I've had it, but it didn't have the branding strip at the bottom, so it is definitely the older, close to my heart. And this camouflage, I had scraps of it left because I have done an earlier layout with this paper around I guess when I first got it. And I'm using, the cardstock I'm using was in the paper pack with it that I got, and it's a brown and green close to my heart. And the back side of the camouflage is plaid, so I wanted to use both sides. So I'll be working with trying to make it stretch, and I'm trying to decide where to put the brown and how much of the brown, because I did want to add some more brown. I have it in the outer edge, and I wanted to add some more. And this piece came from the center of the cardstock that's in the background, and I rounded the corners with the 1/4 inch rounder. And I started to put it on the side there, and then I said, no, I wanted it opposite of the edge. So it'd be more in the middle, and basically duplicate the edge, and add a little more brown to the center. And these tags are from Office Supply, and I'm going to ink them in vintage photo, and that is the old paper, distress ink, and I'm going to do the footprints in the background with it so they just barely show up, and then I'm going to stamp it with a stamp that's close to my heart, and it says life is a journey. And I'm going to do another tag too, and that one is going to say adventure is a state of mind. And I'm going to end up using, close to my heart, terracotta, autumn terracotta I think it's called. And then the edges of it, I'm going to use the vintage photo. I'm going to kind of rock my stamp on there so that it just gets the edges. And there's where I'm rocking the stamp, so I don't have as much of it, just a little bit and darker on the edges. And I'm going to go ahead and ink all my papers using the vintage photo, and I'm going to also do the tags. And later on I'm going to do some punching and ink that too. So everything's going to be inked with the vintage photo. And this is where I'm going to take a little out of the center because I'm trying to make my paper stretch, and I wanted some more pieces for my punching later. I'd already decided I needed a little something else with my layout for the background, and I hadn't even made my mind up yet what to do with those brads and I think they're snaps and eyelets. But I end up using them on the punch outs. But I was already thinking about doing the punching with the hexagons. And here again I'm cutting a little bit more out, so I'll be sure and have enough. And that's really pretty paper. I liked it the first time I did a layout with it, and of course I'm liking it again. It's great for an outdoors because it has the browns and the greens, and it does have a muted blue. And I'm going to just do some of my layering, and this tag is going to go up in the upper right. And all the way to the end of my photo editing, my layout looked one way. I decorate that tag with that Explorer right there. But while I was doing the editing and kept looking at it, I kept thinking I really didn't like the Explorer there. So I ended up changing that. So the last picture's going to be a little different at the pictures at the end. And I'm going to layer my tags here. And this is where I'm going to end up putting Explorer later. I'm going to move it down there right above the life. The more I looked at the title, it says Smoky Mountain. And then it looked like it said Explorer. And I decided I didn't want it there. So I ended up moving it, and it was well after I got my layout done. It was right before I started the voiceover, actually. And here I'm using my Creative Memories punch. And I'm going to punch out some hexagons with the different pieces of paper. And I'm going to do some layering on it. Some I'm going to leave plain and just do the inking on the edges. And some I'm going to put the eyelets and snaps on. And I did end up cutting most of that out so that y'all wouldn't have to watch that. But I put a dot in the center. I learned a long time ago I can't figure out exactly where I want the hole at if I don't mark it ahead of time. And it ends up off center or someplace I really don't want it. And I'm using the, what is that thing called? It's not the Big Bite, it's the other one. But it works great. And I'm trying to decide where all to put these hexagons that I cut out. And like I said, I'm layering some. I'm layering that one. I had a smaller one punched out and a larger one. And then those bigger snaps needed a bigger hexagon, so some are a little bigger than the others. Like I said, I didn't think about putting them on there to start with, or I'd probably use the bigger hexagons to begin with. But I was thinking more like, save some paper, make it stretch, make it last enough to get my layout done. And so I chose not to do the biggest one. But I don't think it's really noticeable that a couple of these are a little bigger than the rest. And I'm using glue dots there. But when I went back in to change my layout and move the Explorer, every one of them had fell off. I had it up on my poster board to take the picture, and they all fell off. So I ended up putting foam tape under them, and that worked much better. They seemed a lot sturdier, but they weighed quite a bit with the snap and the eyelet on there, and so it pulled against there, so that everyone was laying on the table. And I'm going ahead and committing to put that there, and I hung a little bit over on the brown, and I'm going to go ahead and put that piece there. But I changed my mind on that also, and I ended up moving it. But instead of having foam tape and having the glue dot there, it moved really easy when I decided to move it. And that one has little footprints, and it says, let's see, what does it say? I do have my layout in here. Explore, adventure, discover, and exploration. And then a couple of the others say, are we there yet? Well, that's the only other one that says anything, the orange one in the middle. And it's not even up there. Oh, it's the one underneath the Explorer, and I end up moving it to the middle. And I'm going to use 3 different thicker fonts. And no, I didn't bring them in here, so I'm not sure what they are. but it does say Smoky Mountain, and since Mountain's longer, I used a smaller font, and that font I actually got from Tiffany Westbrook, and I didn't have no ends left, so actually the U's and the ends are all U's on there, but you can't tell it. They look like ends to me. And so it's Smoky Mountain High, and I am still working on the hexagons, yeah, and I'm inking them up. I noticed I didn't ink a couple of them, so I had to go ahead and ink them. And I'm just using my ATG gun to glue everything down, and I wanted to have the hexagons in 3 different spots as a cluster, plus the ones that I randomly put on there. And that's when I decided to go ahead and move that one. It's because I wanted them to kind of go down, you know, since I had 3. 1, 2, and 3, but then I find one more to put on there, and that's Manila Mr. Huey, and I just sprinkled it on there. And of course I'm going to cut the string off on that tag. It's just a little bit long, and that's when I think I'm done. Of course I thought I'd done twice, and then I seen that other little one that I had made up, and I went ahead and put it on. But my suggestion is, something that heavy, don't use the glue dots. Use the foam adhesive instead, and it'll stick a lot better. And this is my original layout with the Explorer on the upper right. See, it says Smoky Mountain Explorer High. So yeah, the more I looked at it while I was doing the editing, the more I decided I wanted to move it. And so I move it right there beneath the Authentic and above the Life is a Journey. So Explore Life is a Journey is what that's going to say. Oh, I think it says Adventure is a State of Mind is what that says up there. And this is the high, and like I said, I used 3 different thickers fonts, and they're all in the brown, and this one's my favorite though. And there's a couple of more of the, see, one's eyelet and one's a snap, but they both work the same way when you're putting them on with the that thing I used. Whatever. It's been so long since I used it, I can't remember what it's called. Crazy, huh? And Smoky Mountain and Explore. Yeah, that goes away. And so here's my final layout, and I used a Maya Road paper clip with the geotag and the heart, and then I used a mistable camera, and I didn't actually mist it. I used the old paper ink, and then I also used the vintage photo around the edges and added it there. So that's my layout for the Saturday Stash Dive, and Patty Sandberg is my partner today, so I'll leave a link below for her channel, and check out her channel and see what she does with metallic pieces. And so thank you so much for watching, and in December, I believe it starts like maybe the 12th, we're going to have 12 Days of Christmas. So be sure to be watching for that. And it'll be the SNLDesign team, and we will be showing different creative things for the 12 Days of Christmas. Thanks for watching. Bye.